Hi there crafters, it's Louise with you today. Welcome along to my channel. I am sharing another 3 old and 3 new scrapbook layout, and this time I am teaming up the 49er Market Teal collection with some purple items from my stash. I felt like it was really the perfect collection. I love the color combination of teal and purple. So I've gone through my stash. I've also chosen a photo which I think suits the collection perfectly. It is a family shot. I managed to gather my husband's family all together and in the one place and force them to have their photo taken. So definitely a memory worth capturing and one that I want to get on a scrapbook page. So I'm starting, of course, by mounting my photo. I've also trimmed off the extra piece from my background paper. Now this is a Vicki Boutin pre-made background. These are absolutely some of my favorites. I so enjoy not having to get my mixed media supplies out and make my own mess. I would much rather have somebody make the mess for me. So these, pads that you buy that are just filled with Vicki Boutin backgrounds, absolutely my favorite way to create. Now you can also see that I have distressed around my border, and again this is a great way to get a little bit of texture. I'm going to use different shades of purple. I didn't need necessarily to keep it all to the same shade because I'm sticking with those two colors. So that combination of the teal and the purple means that I have the ability to actually use different shades because it all blends in once the final layout comes together. Now this, the packet of ephemera, honestly, I just love this from 49er Market. It makes it so easy to create with. I love just being able to tuck a few of these little pieces in behind elements here and there. There's not, there's no structure. It's purely just me sitting down and looking at what embellishments I have in front of me and how I want to move those around the photo to ensure that I get this layout that showcases my photo, but it's also pretty to look at. The cut apart sheet that you see me using is a little bit more of a challenge for me. I'm a time poor scrapper, meaning I don't have a lot of free time to sit and spend hours on a single layout. That's why I tend to pump out my layouts pretty darn quick, because I've got more hobbies than I know what to do with. I love to read, I love to cook, I love diamond art, I love going to the races with my besties, spending time with my family, we camp and we boat and we fish. So for me to sit down and spend hours or days on a layout, it's just not practical. And so I'm the kind of scrapper where I need to get stuff done, and if that means that buying a collection is what makes this easy for me and what works, then that's what I'm going to go with. So I've built around my photo in a cluster, and the elements were getting a little bit lost in that background, so I'm just going to pop them up on some card and help give it a little bit of dimension and separate those out. Now you can see there's a little bit of shadow between the purples that I've used and the cluster and the little pieces that are poking out, so it's definitely starting to get to a more pleasant to the eye layout. This is more along the lines of what I like. Now I've drawn that little circle in the background, and I kind of was considering maybe some mixed media, maybe some stitching. I really didn't know. All I knew was that to highlight my cluster, so my teal cluster, I had to put something in there, and this just helps me build around. So it gives me another layer almost. So you can see as I'm placing these little pieces of the purple rub-ons, again these are 49er Market as well. These are the ones that come in the 12 by 12 sheets. I'm sorry, I don't know what they're called, but again, they're like ready-made backgrounds. They're super easy just to pop down on a page and just your ability to create backgrounds and interesting elements is just increased so much just by these collections. So the purple rub-ons did not come obviously with the teal collection, but there are some teal rub-ons that I purchased as well. And as much as these florals are pretty, I actually find them super challenging to use because they're not your typical floral shapes. They're dare I say it, they almost look like a weed. Sorry, that probably sounds really harsh, but they're not a typical floral that I would expect to see in a scrapbooking collection. So I found them quite challenging, but once I started to play around with the elements and started to layer a few bits and pieces, I definitely got into more of the swing of things and found it quite easy to start adding more elements. All right, so I have added the teal florals behind, and now I want to add some of these little words. So this is again just building dimension in the background. So because the background was quite purple, I needed to just pop a little bit of that teal, not too much because I've got quite a bit of teal in my cluster, but you can see how much of a difference the cardboard makes in that background. It gives it that dimension and separates that cluster from the actual photo and that purple background. All right, so here we get to the circular element, and I decide to pull out my glitter pens and trace around the bits of my circle that you can still see poking out. And I started kind of doing it quite neat, sticking within the sort of circular line, and then I had a little glitter explosion, whatever you want to call it. It came out too fast anyway, and I couldn't clean it up, so I got a bit more textural and messy with that glue background. But I do like these particular pens. They're quite easy to work with, and they go on so that you can actually see the elements, and they dry pretty much clear, so really fun to work with and use. And in my case, if it means I avoid the mess, even better. All right, I'm going to let that dry naturally overnight, and for the final stages of this particular share, I'm going to go ahead and just add a couple of the little puffies. So the puffies were part of my stash busting items, so they were important to get onto the layout. The other thing I haven't really got is a title, so I pulled out this particular piece, which is from a Simple Stories collection, and I popped that down in the bottom right hand corner in that gap, and that's where I'm going to pop my journaling as well. I have got some enamel dots which I'm going to pop around the page, add my journaling, and those little butterfly cutouts that were part of the 49 and Market kit. They're going to form the last part of this layout. So that is my share. I do love how the teal and purple has come out. I hope that you've enjoyed it as well. Please, if you would love to leave a comment, I love to read them and reply, so they're always welcome. Thank you ever so much for watching and stopping by my channel, and I hope that you are subscribed. Happy scrapping!